Look at all these sinners. Oh my goodness, the church is full of sinners, you know. Of course, it's full of sinners all the time, and not just Ash Wednesday, but you tell this story about the 3 Irish washerwomen that were sitting on the steps, you know, coming out of the house they were cleaning. And they were in the middle of town, and they realized that one of the houses, you know, was notorious for being a gambling den. You know, all sorts of vices were going on in there. And so they're sitting down, and they're drying out their towels, and one says to the other, "Oh, look, oh my goodness, look who's gone in there." And says, who is it? He says, "Oh, don't look. He says, "Well, who is it?" He says, "It's the Protestant pastor. He's going in. The Protestant pastor. Oh, shame, the shame. His poor wife, you know how she must feel. Who knows what he's doing with their money? Oh, don't look. Then the other one says, "Wait a minute, who's that?" And he says, "What?" He says, "Oh, don't look. And he goes, What, who is it? Tell us." He says, "It's the rabbi. The rabbi's going in," you know, and says, "Oh, the shame. Oh, my goodness, and his dear wife and children. Oh, no. Oh, don't look. And another one says, "Isn't that Father O'Malley?" And the other one says, "'Tis is. I wonder who's sick." It's the first time I've told that joke in church, as a matter of fact. Nice to hear you laugh. When I was a young priest, 5 years ordained, I had a lot of people laughing at me on Ash Wednesday. They were smiling, really. They were very good-natured. What happened is I was at St. Joseph's Church in Cockeysville, Texas, and we were giving out, we had a school with a large attendance, so we ashed all the children in the school. They had a particular school that was nearby, so that they asked us to go there and ash the children in the girls' school. You know, and when we had 1 million masses, and then we also had people who were shut in, and so we were going the whole day long ashing. And as I was passing by York Road for several times, I looked at a McDonald's and I thought, fish sandwich, you know. And so I looked, it was packed, you know, and I'm standing in line, and I'm going, there's not going to be any tables left or anything, you know. I got to get something, you know. And so I get in, and for some reason, while I was sitting there looking at the menu, fish sandwich had totally escaped my mind, and inexplicably and without understanding what I did, I ordered a Big Mac, which was my favorite. And I'm getting ready, I guess I'll go eat in the car, you know. And I looked and saw there was one table right by the door, you know. And I take off my jacket, I got, of course, my collar on. I'm sitting right in front of the restaurant on Ash Wednesday eating a Big Mac. And everybody's going, "Hey, Father, you know, does that taste good?" I said, "Oh, this is delicious. It's wonderful," you know. I love this, you know. It wasn't until I got back to the rectory where Father Jim Barker and Monsignor Cook were, and they said, "Did you get anything to eat? We got some grilled cheese here." I said, "Yeah, I went to McDonald's and I had a Big Mac." And they go, "Big Mac?" You know, and I went, "Oh, no." But I can't tell you how happy it made everybody else to see the priest publicly sinning. And part of it is they knew that they themselves, you know, could fall. And so they realized the priest wasn't going to lord it over them. In fact, they were able to go, you know, "Yeah, you know, he doesn't know what he's doing. That's all right." Which is just what Jesus said on the cross, as a matter of fact. "Father, forgive them. They know not what they're doing." The most wonderful thing about Ash Wednesday and the 40 days of Lent is really two. One is, no matter what you've done, you can be forgiven. No matter what you've done, you can be forgiven. There's not one thing that God can't forgive, great or small. And sometimes I think we err when we try to, you know, we know we're guilty of small sins, but then we begin to pick on people who have what appear to be larger sins. Remember the story of the Pharisee and of the tax collector in the temple praying? One said, "I give you thanks that I'm not like the rest of men. I pay tithes on all I possess. I fast twice a day." Oh, hi, baby. "Let the children come to me and do not hinder them." I thought it was thunder, as a matter of fact. So, but the point is, he says, who went home justified? It wasn't the one who thought he was so much better than the other person. It was the one who wouldn't even dare lift his eyes to heaven and said, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. You know, and this is part of what's in the scripture today in the gospel, where he says, don't be like the Pharisees who love to go stand up in synagogues and pray so people see they're praying. We got 3 things that we can do during these 40 days. One is fast. Another one is pray. And the other one is give alms. And all those things are meant to be done secretly, because it's meant to be something that helps us to change. And sometimes we might feel in the course of God knows how many years, I can't seem to change this, that I'm not good at becoming a better person. But the whole thing is, you can still be. There's no statute of limitations with regard to God's mercy and forgiveness. You can still change. And so the idea of doing a little something like, okay, I can pray more, that can be a change. I can pay less attention to my own needs, fasting. Fasting is, in the old days, we used to think about giving up chocolate, you know, when you got to be an adult, giving up alcohol. It's not so much the giving up, it's the changing, it's the altering. It's a showing that you can do something differently than what you did before. And one little step of success at that then means that we can be successful at other things. And of course, the almsgiving, you know, we have so much. And yet, and I have to include myself in this too, and on everything, but we sometimes it's so difficult for us to give. And not because we don't have a good heart or we're not generous, but simply because we worry about, well, I need this for something else. You know, we're afraid of diminishing our capacities for choice. And yet, the capacity for choice that God gives us is we can feed the hungry, clothe the naked, shelter the homeless, welcome, you know, those who are refugees. We get a chance to do all these things without thinking, like, maybe it'll take something away from me. So almsgiving is so important. So those 3 things done in secret, you know, help us to know in our heart, which is what we're trying to change over these 40 days, that we can be just a little bit more devoted, you know, to God, to prayer, and to people. And then after 40 days, we might wind up some of these things have become a habit. You know, giving up chocolate was really not a great idea because it was simply giving up, you know, and it's something we did as kids, because what could be better than chocolate, as a matter of fact, you know? That'd be a real challenge. You know, I could have given up my sister before I could give up chocolate, you know, where's Tina? I don't know, somewhere, you know. It is really not so much the giving up that is as important as the taking in. And what we do besides having little ways to show, large and small, that we can change, it is the then idea to take in this marvelous love of God for us, poor sinners, you know, which is without equal. There isn't one person who can't be forgiven. And it's not a question of, you know, well, you used up your last chance. The cross is timeless. The cross is timeless. God is always ready for us.